Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to share with you another video in my makeup collection series. I'm going to be sharing my bronzers, highlighters, and blushes. I'm also going to be talking about my favorites and my least favorites. So if you guys are interested in seeing all of those products for my makeup collection, then just keep on watching. So this is my drawer for my bronzers, highlighters, blushes, and also all of my cream products. And I just have everything organized in two Birchboxes that are really old because I haven't subscribed to Birchbox in years, but they've held up. And I think I'm going to start off with my bronzers. So for bronzers, the first one I have is from Note Cosmetics, and this is newer to my collection. I got it recently at Gen Beauty. I haven't played with it too much because it's more orangey, so I'm a little nervous to see how it applies as a bronzer. I'm just using it really lightly, so I do need to play with this one a little bit more. And then next I have a few drugstore bronzers. This one from Physicians Formula I'm actually not a big fan of. I bought it on a sale and I have heard good things about it, but I actually don't like this one very much. It's too reddish for me. It doesn't look very natural on my complexion. It's still a good formula, but the color isn't right for me. So this is a bronze booster that I don't really like too much. And then I love the Butter Bronzer. I can see myself repurchasing this in the future. I've used a decent amount of it. It's my favorite drugstore bronzer. It's one of my favorite all-time bronzers, so I definitely recommend that. And then I also really like this bronzer from Pixi Beauty. This is in the shade Summertime. This is actually a repurchase. It's a really nice bronzer because it's a bronzer, but it can also work as a contour because it's a little bit more cool than some other bronzer shades. So I like to use this. I haven't used it in a while, but I usually use this a lot over the summer because it's called Summertime. So this is really awesome and available at Target. Then I have a sample of the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer, which is like a classic. This is a really awesome bronzer. I would use this every day for a while. I like to use this for traveling. So I really like this bronzer. It's in my top favorites, but there's still others that I really love, like this one. This is a Sweet Tea bronzer, which is my all-time favorite. It's a shimmery bronzer, and that's why I love it so much. It's very warm, but it's also very natural looking, and it's not orange. So this is my all-time favorite bronzer. I use this almost daily. I would use it daily if I didn't film my makeup so often, honestly, because I just love the effect that it gives. It's beautiful. And then I also have another shimmery bronzer that's more recent to my collection, and this is from Buxom, and this is in the shade Tahiti, and it's a really beautiful bronzer. It's shimmery as well, but this one compared to the Too Faced one is a little bit more orange. And it also swatches pretty lightly, but it's still a very pretty bronzer. I do prefer the Too Faced one compared to Buxom, but I've been using them interchangeably pretty recently. And then lastly, I have Bahama Mama from The Balm. This is a little sample for an Instagram video I did with Ipsy recently. And then this is the full size. I've been using this lately. It's actually, I just pulled it out of my everyday makeup drawer. It's pretty deep compared to some other bronzers, but it's still a really pretty color. So I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts after I use it in my everyday makeup drawer for a few more weeks. And next, moving on to highlighters. You guys see me use a lot of these all the time. One is a little set that is new from Physicians Formula. I have a whole review video of this on my channel. They also came out with a contour kit, which I hated, but this one's pretty good. It's kind of glittery, but for drugstore, it's actually a really nice palette because it has some good variety. And then some recent favorites are these two from Ofra. This one in Blissful is especially my favorite. It's like a pink champagne color. It's so gorgeous, so pigmented. And then Beverly Hills has like 7 colors in it. So the Ofra highlighters are definitely worth it. They are like $35, but they're huge and they're so incredibly pigmented. And then I'm going to get into Jouer. These have been my favorite recently too. Both of them, Citrine and Topaz, are both staples to me. I love them both. They are just really good go-to highlighters. They're very finely milled. They're very natural looking on the skin too. Topaz is a bit deeper, but it's actually not too dark. And then Citrine is a bit more light and more of a peachy undertone. So I really love those. So this is Citrine and this is Topaz. The formula is just amazing. So I've definitely been loving Jouer probably the most for single highlighters because I really like more of a natural highlight. And for spring especially, I'm going to be using this a lot from Milani. I just actually mentioned it in my recent favorites. This is the Strobe Light Afterglow. This is so beautiful because it's a strobing powder, so it kind of reminds me of like Hourglass powders, but more dramatic. So you still get a like nice highlight shade, but it's so pigmented, finely milled, really amazing quality for drugstore. Probably the best I've tried from the drugstore. I'll show you guys a comparison to this one. This is a pure nude highlighter from Essence. At the time, I really liked this. Now, compared to the Milani one, it's not that exciting to me. So this is the color. It's a lot more subtle. This is in the shade Be My Highlight. So this is a good, like, very glow from within highlight, but I definitely prefer the one from Milani. I have some cream highlighters from ColourPop. I should honestly probably declutter these. I am not sure if they're still good. This is Electric Slide. I like the formula of the time. Actually, they're still really creamy, so I can keep these in my collection. This is more golden. I just don't use cream highlighters anymore. It's not in my routine anymore. This is Lunch Money, which is more of a champagne color. So they're really good formula. I just prefer powder highlighters. At the time, I really loved cream highlighters. I was using this nonstop. I think it's ever since I lived in LA or moved to LA before I was living on the East Coast where it was drier. So I'm definitely not wearing cream products as often anymore because I'm always in a warm weather. But if you guys really like cream products, they're actually a good formula. I just prefer powder. And this is Becca Opal. This used to be a staple of mine too, but it's shattered. That's why I don't ever use it. But it's beautiful pink champagne color. It's a really pretty formula. I do prefer Jouer because they're not as breakable as Becca, but it's very similar. And then we have this one from e.l.f., which is Blush Gems. And I did scratch off the top layer, but it's still like not, it's pigmented, but it's a very gritty texture. And those are very similar colors compared to Becca Opal. So on my face, it just kind of sits on top of my skin. So I'm not a big fan of the formula, but it does have like good color payoff. And then we have my first highlighter ever, which was a little baby sample of Mary Luminizer that I got in an Ipsy bag in 2013 maybe. And this is a really pretty like champagne gold highlighter. I have it in the Manizer Sisters now. And this was actually the only highlighter in my collection for maybe a year before highlighting became like a big deal. So this is like a good like staple original highlighter. So moving into my blushes, and I've said it several times, I'm not a big blush person, but I love the blushes that I love, and there's a lot that I love in here. One of my favorites is from Kiko Cosmetics. This is this duo. It's in Silky Rose and Mauve. It's the Blush Cocoa Shock. Beautiful formula. I got this in a Kiko Cosmetics store here in LA. They have them online. I believe they're $18. They're just gorgeous. The formula is amazing. They smell like chocolate. This one is my absolute favorite. This mauve color, it's gorgeous. I wore that every day in the fall. And also this rose color. It's very, very light. Ooh, it's very, very light. I never wear it on its own. I wear these together mostly because this is so light. But you guys can see, like, just for this one alone, that's just a beautiful blush. Very pigmented, very creamy, and it smells like chocolate, which is amazing. It looks like chocolate. And then I have the blushes I got from The Balm recently, and I've been talking about them a lot. This is Cabana Boy. This was in my January favorites. It's more of a deep blush, especially for me, but it's so beautiful, so pigmented. And then Frat Boy is what's in my everyday makeup drawer. I just moved it for this video. I'm not like cheating out of that video. I just moved it for today. And this is like a very pink, just straight pink blush. But it actually looks really nice. It's not too harsh on my skin tone. So it's going to take a little while to get used to, but I have been wearing it a couple times and it actually looks really nice on my skin. But the one that I definitely prefer more than Frat Boy is Bomb Beach. I think this one was in my February favorites. It's a very nudie pink blush. It's a very nude blush, actually. It doesn't have too much pink in it. It's so pretty to me because it's very subtle. It barely shows up. It's so subtle, but you guys know that's my style of blush. So that is Bomb Beach, then Frat Boy, and Cabana Boy if you want something that has some more color to it. All right, let's get into some drugstore products. So I have Wet n Wild. This is Rose Champagne. This is a very subtle blush, so I don't wear it too often. It's a very beautiful color, but it's also very subtle and more subtle than my other subtle blushes because the formula is less pigmented. It's a lot more sheer. That basically just turned into my skin color. So that is a very, very natural sheer blush. And then I have this new one I haven't swatched yet. Is actually from Pixi. It's part of a new trio that was just released to Target. I think I'm actually going to really like this blush color. Yeah, that's a beautiful rosy color. It's more satin. And this is called Beauty Blush Duo in Rose Gold. And you guys know I love the Butter Blush from Physicians Formula. I'm wearing it today. It's awesome. I love the formula. This is the deeper one. It's just gorgeous, very, very natural as well. Super natural. Basically almost a blush bronzer kind of color. It almost looks like a setting powder, honestly. But you guys know that's why I love it. And Milani Luminoso, which is basically a classic. This is like OG, like obsession on YouTube. I got this because Ingrid Nielsen was talking about it in 2012. This is probably my third time repurchasing it. It's just gorgeous. And I'm obsessed with it just because it brings back like memories of watching like original YouTube videos or just like older YouTube videos. So I love this one, especially for spring and summer. I've been wearing this one lately because I just put it in my everyday makeup drawer. Then I have one more from Pixi. This is their Glowy Powder in Rome Rose. And this is part of their new collection with Aspen. And this is like a highlighting blush. It's kind of like a blush topper. It's very pink. And it's very satin. So that's the color. I just got this from the new Pixi launch. And then I have a few blushes from NYX. This one is in the shade Bright Lights. I used to wear this all the time when I started my channel over 2 years ago. And I don't wear blushes like this anymore. And I don't know if I'm going to keep these in my collection because that formula does not look that appeasing compared to some of the other blushes, especially drugstore blushes that I have. And then this is in the shade Nude Tude, I believe. Lusterlux was talking about this one when she started her channel, and that's why I bought it. This is more of like a nude blush. And that is something that barely shows up as well. It's a very light color, but it also isn't pigmented. And it's a little bit more powdery, so I don't think I like this formula anymore. I'll actually start wearing these and actually see if they last and look good on my cheeks, but compared to the swatches of my other drugstore blushes, these are definitely my least favorite. And then I have the Too Faced Love Flush Blush in Baby Love. This is beautiful. I'm obsessed with this blush. I wore it nonstop for a year. The day I bought it was the day I got proposed to. I went with my husband to Sephora that morning. I wore it that night and then got engaged. So I'm very sentimentally attached to this blush in my collection. It's beautiful. I would wear this all the time before I got the Cheekathon palette. It's just such a perfect nude everyday blush that goes with absolutely every makeup look, at least that I do, because I don't do anything too colorful, so I love it. Then the rest is pretty miscellaneous. I have one of the ColourPop blushes. This is in the shade Prenup. I never wear this because I just don't like cream products anymore, like I said. But it is a really pretty mauve shade. You guys can see, like, this is probably boring because they're all the same color, honestly. This mauve purpley nude shade, because that's just what's really flattering on my skin tone. And then this is from Model Co. This was in an Ipsy bag in 2014 maybe. And this is the shade Peach Bellini. So this is just like a peachy nude blush. Actually not very nude. It's very pigmented, very shimmery. Woo! That's a lot of color. I don't think I've worn it in a very long time, but I'm going to start playing with that, especially for summer. That'll be a really pretty color. Very similar to that is Manica D'Ar. This is in the shade Paradise. And I have two of them because I did a video with Ipsy and I got one of them. And then one of them was actually in my glam bag. So this is also like a rosy peach blush. And here is the swatch compared to the Model Co one. Okay, so this one's a bit more pinky than the Model Co blush. So those are all Ipsy products. Then lastly, this is from Cover FX. I just got this at Gen Beauty, so I don't think I've played with it yet. This is a really pretty color. It's a cream blush as well. Ooh. It kind of looks like a chapstick or something. So I don't know if I'll use that on my cheeks. It feels like a lip gloss. It's very creamy. And this is in the shade Berry. It's an enhanced click. I don't have the outer packaging anymore, but if any of you guys have this, let me know if it actually works as a cheek product, because that does not look very promising. All right, so I said I don't like cream products, and that's definitely true when it comes to blushes and highlighters, but I love cream bronzers, cream contour sticks. And I do like liquid highlighters to mix into primers and just wear under my everyday highlighter to make it stand out more. And starting with my cream contours, I have this one from Pure Cosmetics. This is the Cameo Contour. It's cool because it's dual-ended. This part always falls out on me. But this is an awesome stick. It's just a little too warm for me. It's a little too orange. This is in the shade Medium. And it just like, it's a little orange basically. I could wear it more so in the summer when I'm more tan, but right now it's not that flattering. Then a similar product from the drugstore is the Maybelline Master Contour Stick. This, I really like the shade. It's a lot more sheer than some other contour products that I have in my collection. This is more cool tone, and then it has a lighter vanilla shade. So this is actually a really awesome product. You guys will see me use this in an upcoming drugstore tutorial. I just think it's really great for like $6-7. It's not as pigmented as some other products, but if you want something that's more lightweight, more beginner friendly, definitely check this out. Then the first contour stick I ever got is this one from Tarte that came in a little mini set. It's the Sculptor pen. This is what I used to cream contour on my wedding day, this exact stick. And I really love this shade, especially for summer. It's warm, but not too red or orange. So I really like this one. I also have it in the shade 2. So this is shade 1. This is shade 2, which is way deeper and a bit more red tone. It's not ideal for my skin tone. It's a lot deeper for me, but I really love the shade 1 and I really love the formula. You guys probably know my all-time favorite is Anastasia Fawn. I recommend this to everyone. It's such a perfect contour shade, especially for nose contour. If you don't like a harsh contour but you want something that's more cool tone for like your nose or cheekbones or whatever, this is a beautiful color and it blends out really nicely. It's more cool tone. And then lately I've been wearing Hoola Quickie Contour Stick, which is more bronze. I'll show you guys swatch comparison. This is definitely way more warm. They're so different. So I've been wearing this on its own, honestly. And then because this one's so cool tone, to balance it out, I top it off with the Too Faced Sweet Tea bronzer, the Buxom bronzer, any like shimmery warm bronzer on top of this. And then I've just been doing this on its own for like a natural face look, or I could top it off with like a contour powder. But I actually prefer just using this by itself. And then if I want something that's more, or like a more precise contour, then I'll stick with my Anastasia one. Then I have this duo from e.l.f. that's a blush and bronzer. It's a really big product. I think it's like $6. It says bronzed and pink beige. This is like, it's a very interesting product because it kind of feels like ColourPop. It has like that Play-Doh-y feel to it. So this is a very pink blush, but I bought it for the bronzer. And I've just worn this a couple times because I prefer like my straight cream bronzers. This is a very moussey texture. It's very weird, but that's actually a really pretty color. And they do blend out nicely. I just prefer like the cream ones blend out a little bit quicker than these. So I will have to play with this more. I'll put it in an everyday makeup drawer in the future because those are really pretty shades, very pigmented. Then I have the shade Banana from Anastasia. I honestly just regret buying this because I don't need a whole yellow contour stick or highlighting stick. I just use this on the bridge of my nose after I contour my nose. But I could just use a concealer just as easily. I don't use it for anything else. I just bought it basically for my YouTube review, and then I didn't end up using this one. I used everything else. I actually thought I would use this a lot more, but I just never do. So it's still pretty much full, and my other two from Anastasia are almost all used up. And one more random cream product. I got this at Gen Beauty. It was in one of the swag bags. It's from Jouer, and this is in the shade Crystal. It's not a great product. It's a purplish cream highlighter. Oh, I wouldn't put this on my cheeks. It basically feels like oil, and then it just kind of swatches into nothing. So definitely check out the Jouer powder highlighters instead of these. So I'm not a big fan of that. It was just in the swag bag, so I put it in here. Then a random product that probably shouldn't be in here is just this little green corrector from Algenist. And then I do have the highlighting drops from Algenist. This is a gold one. They can mix into foundations. And then I also have the pink one. They come in a set from Sephora. You could get them by the checkout line at Sephora. That's when I always see them. They're very similar to like the Cover FX ones, and I think they're like $25. So here's gold and pink, and they're very liquidy, which is really nice to mix into primers or foundations. I need to start doing that, especially for spring and summer. I just talked about a couple of these in a recent PR haul. This is Elizabeth Arden in the shade Golden Kiss. It's a liquid highlighter, and I got it so messy in that video. And this is a beautiful highlighter. It's very pigmented. And then the other one that I got, I'll show you guys a swatch comparison. So different. It's from Pixi. It's a glow booster. This is, to me, more of like a glowy primer or something you can mix into your primer because it kind of shears out a lot. So you guys can see that is more of like a glowy moisturizer compared to a cream highlighter. Then the e.l.f. highlighting drops are actually really awesome. I believe that's what they're called. They don't have anything on the package. It says illuminating on this little sticker. But these are awesome. I need to try mixing this into a primer or foundation. This is more like champagne. It's very pretty. It's a little bit more thick, so you have to work quickly when blending it out. And then also is the same thing for the High Beam from Benefit. This is more of like a pink color. I don't like this applicator, like this nail polish applicator. So you just like dot on the product like that or just wipe it. And it just can end up pretty streaky with this applicator, but this shade is so pretty and so glowy. So I really like these two. They're very glowy and they're a lot more subtle than some other cream or liquid highlighter products. And that's everything for this drawer, guys. I really like this drawer because I do rotate through these products a lot compared to like my favorite foundations or eyeshadow palettes. I use different bronzers, highlighters, and blushes daily. So let me know if you have any questions about any of these products or which ones I would recommend for like your skin type or anything. Definitely let me know in the comments. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this part of my makeup collection series. Let me know if you guys want to see more, maybe like my foundations, concealers, and powders all in one video as well. And definitely let me know your favorite blushes, highlighters, and bronzers in the comments down below, or let me know if we have any of the same favorites. And if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll talk to you guys soon in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.